Hey, what's going on, everybody? Max here with BB, and today for 10 minutes max, we are going to be doing a comprehensive market breakdown. We're going to talk about Bitcoin, ETH, Pepe, Andy, all my favorites, guys. There's a lot going on, and honestly, I couldn't decide what I wanted to talk about, so we're going to try to talk about a few of my favorites. Before we get into it, guys, if you could please do me a solid, please consider liking and also subscribing if you are new here. We are growing so quickly. And it's all thanks to you guys, all of your consistent support on a daily basis. So, all right. So we have Bitcoin on the left right here, and we have ETH on the right. Now, what you'll notice first is like, okay, for one, Bitcoin is basically up here at its previous cycle all-time high. Well, ETH is still below. This is not uncommon at all. So I want to just do a quick little last cycle or previous cycle analysis just to show you exactly what happened last cycle as well. All right. So here's Bitcoin and then here's ETH. Both of these last cycle. This is the weekly time frame on both. I know it's a little hard to see here. I'm on my big monitor and whatever, but you'll be able to understand what I'm trying to convey here. So we're going to mark out the previous cycle tops for both Bitcoin and for ETH. All right. So we'll put this one in orange for Bitcoin because why not? And we'll put the previous cycle top, and this was actually two cycles ago. Okay, so 2017, 2018. And then we'll do that for ETH over here, and we'll put it in Ethereum blue because why not? So what I want to discuss is, when ETH really started to perform well last cycle, right? Like when did things go crazy for ETH? All right. So here's Bitcoin right under the previous cycle all-time high. And watch the crosshairs on the screen. The crosshairs are synced up. So see, as I move to the left, I go back in time, the ETH crosshair moves as well. All right. So let's take a look at it. Bitcoin under the previous cycle all-time high. Ethereum was still down here in this region. All right. So this was December of 2020. And again, December of 2020, Bitcoin was just about to break through the previous cycle all-time high. So you can see how we were still significantly underneath the Ethereum all-time high as Bitcoin was breaking through or attempting to break through its previous cycle all-time high. All right. So understand that the same thing happened this previous cycle, right? But then what happened right after, right as Bitcoin finally took this next move up, all right, and really started to go, all right, what happened to ETH? Let's take a look at it. From this point on, Ethereum showed tremendous strength against Bitcoin. So for one, Bitcoin took that next leg up. ETH tested the previous all-time high, but then right after that, let's just keep it moving. All right, then Bitcoin goes to cycle peak region. We'll just put this in blue just to differentiate it. Then what happened? Then ETH went nuts, okay? Then ETH dramatically outperformed, okay? So let's just take some measured moves here and then we're going to move on, okay? Because we don't have that much time. Again, we try to fly through these. So from this point, from this region, when Bitcoin finally broke through its previous cycle all-time high, it's about 20K, I guess, to just the cycle top, all right? 236%, as you can see right here. All right, now let's take that same move for ETH from that same region up to its top of its blue zone, right? When Bitcoin put in its cycle peak, 724%. So the point of me showing you this is from when Bitcoin finally decides, and I can remove these just because we don't need them anymore, it's just to illustrate the different phases. When Bitcoin finally broke through its previous cycle all-time high, which again was the candle, here's on the weekly, it started December 14th, the week of December 14th. So we'll go to December 14th here as well. Okay, perfect. 660%, and Bitcoin went up 230% once Bitcoin finally took its plunge up above its previous cycle all-time high. So why am I showing you this? Let's move forward now and let's do it this cycle, okay? Let's see exactly where we're at, okay? So here is the Bitcoin previous cycle all-time high, all right? Like this region, we're already above it. I'll just put it right here, in this region. All right. And now let's do the exact same thing for ETH for this cycle. And then I promise we're going to move on to some meme coins because now we got to talk about the beta, because what happens when majors start to perform extremely well? All right. You'll remember what we just talked about, right? Bitcoin above the previous cycle all-time high. ETH not quite there, same as last cycle, but what did we just determine? As soon as Bitcoin gets above the previous cycle all-time high with conviction, ETH dramatically outperforms. Okay, so that's exactly where we're at right now. Okay, we are from last cycle right here. We are from last cycle, ETH is down here. Okay, so the real fun is just about to begin, in my opinion. Now, what does that mean exactly? Like, where should your money be, right? Do you want to sell your Bitcoin? Do you want to buy more ETH? Well, here's the thing, guys. Like, I think that Bitcoin had its time this cycle. It's been outperforming. We just went over the data. We just went over why I personally believe ETH is going to begin to outperform. Maybe Bitcoin goes like, 110, 150, 170. ETH will go, 14, 15K, something crazy. Nobody's prepared for this, by the way. Nobody's prepared. We here at BB are definitely prepared. We've been scooping aggressively, publicly, by the way. But in my opinion, some of the best chances you have at hitting multiples is actually not in majors. It's going to be, again, in some of my favorites. So let's talk about them. The beta plays to Ethereum, right? So let's talk about Pepe, right? And the point of me having Sol up here on the right is to show how these fib extensions play well in price discovery. But here's our roadmap for Pepe, guys. We've been following Pepe since the lows. You guys remember, if you've been following the channel, I was aggressively buying Pepe down here, have not sold a single penny of it. Have not sold a single Pepe because I recognize what I'm trading here. What I'm trading here is the best Ethereum beta on the market. ETH goes up 1%, Pepe goes up 5%. It's real simple, guys. It's real simple. Understand what you're really trading here. So, clean interaction with our ranges, right? Hit the 1.618 perfectly. Came back recently, retested the 1.618. We are rocketing off of it. Pepe is in price discovery. We are at fresh highs right now. I would expect similarly to what Sol did in 2020 through 2021. Well, it was on its ascension last cycle. Look at how Sol interacted. Flipped the 1.618, corrected temporarily at the 2.618, global cycle top precisely at the 3.618. Guys, you can't make this up. It's not a coincidence. These strategies, they are effective and they do work. Okay, it's not a coincidence that these fibs played perfectly for Solana. Look at this. Perfect. To the money. High time frame tops. We got a lot of air above us, guys. We got a lot of air above us for Pepe. So again, Pepe, tremendous strength against ETH, right? Take your ETH, you swap it into Pepe. It's real simple. Everybody knows how to do that. All right, now let's talk about another one of my favorites here. Andy, Pepe beta. Okay. In the origins of the Pepe and Andy trade, that's fresh, right? But Pepe, originates from Matt Fury. He's the artist. He created a comic series called The Boys Club, and Andy and Pepe were friends in this comic series. And Andy's a fresh meme coin, new this cycle. It's a spin-off, in relationship to Pepe. And again, something that I've talked about publicly is that it's kind of fun to connect the dots here. But Pepe's contract starts with 0x69 and Andy starts with 0x68. Okay. So maybe coincidence, maybe it just happened. But either way, Andy and Pepe are great friends in the comic series, Boys Club, and their contracts are one number apart the beginning. So pretty interesting. And it's truly trading like beta to Ethereum and again, beta to Pepe also. Like for those that were watching closely yesterday, Pepe was up, 15 to 18% or something, 20% even. Andy was up like 45% yesterday. So it's acting exactly as it should. The market is receiving this and accepting this narrative and accepting this beta play. Right now, it's sitting around 60 mil market cap. So Pepe's at 4.5, almost 5 bill, I believe. If you are looking to take some risk, allocate a little bit to another Pepe derivative or Ethereum derivative, Andy's going to be that play of choice, and I will put that contract down in the description below. But let's talk technicals here. So, nice initial pump. We topped out at about 150 million, which is a tremendous feat. And then what we saw with Andy is it began to sort of sync up with Ethereum. And I'll just do a real quick example here for you guys. I already made a video on this, but I'd like to show you guys again, just in case anybody forgets. So here's ETH down below, and I'll just I'll make it our Ethereum blue so nobody forgets. On the initial pump, Andy just went crazy, right? As these things often do. And then what do we see? It starts to sync up with ETH, right? As most strong beta plays do. And we like for that to happen. Look at all the highs and lows, forming on the same day, right? I mean, look at this. It's the same, and then low here, and then this low was set here, and then, we just pumped and ETH just pumped and the percentages, like you got to understand this move on ETH. I'll just tell you guys exactly how much it was. So from this low up here, ETH went up 23%. And Andy from its low, which again was set on the same exact day, went up 70%. So this looks bigger, but it's actually not. It's just a little bit warped. Okay. Here, let's remove these now. I just wanted to show you guys real quick how it's actually trading like ETH beta, which is very encouraging given that, in this first chart that I showed, what's in my opinion going to happen to ETH. ETH goes to 10K, 12K, 13, 15K. You're going to see a rotation like you're not prepared for into Ethereum beta, which is, like I just mentioned, Pepe. And now also I just showed you the data, Andy. And these rotations happen, people make them manually, but they're also algorithmically driven. There's thousands, hundreds of thousands of bots that when Ethereum pumps, it auto rotates into strongly correlated beta plays like a Pepe and an Andy. So again, let's go back to Andy here. What we saw here was a small holder capitulation. We had this clear trend line, and we often see events like this, right? Where you just basically get like a total capitulation of weak hands. We lost our trend. What we saw here was not whales selling. Whales were actually buying. Whales were actually buying right in here. And what we saw was small holders panic selling. And then we quickly V recovered. We're now, handsomely above support. Things look really, really solid here. And again, especially given the tight correlation to Ethereum, and also Pepe beta, I think that Andy is poised for a tremendous rally from this level. So, maybe, if you're lucky, you could maybe get like a retest of this trend line, maybe mid 50s, but ultimately I would expect this to play. And, maybe we could look for some sort of like, inverse head and shoulders, something kind of like this to play. So we'll end up seeing, but, I think this is we had a pretty strong capitulation event, again, really clear levels here. Like, look at this, this trend line, this isn't random that this was playing, right? Bear trap deviation. So it's possible you come back. But again, if it's strong enough, depending on what ETH does, you might not get your perfect entry. I'm just talking levels here. It's if this happens, then that happens. We respect the chart. We respect the levels. That's all that we can do. But what am I expecting from here? Generally, guys, like the 1.618 has really played well on Andy since inception. And I can show you guys a previous example. But what I would be looking for is, this 1.618 to play, which is, 225 million. And then we'll reassess from there. And, we can always go up to the 2.618, which is, 350 million. But this is TP1 right here. So from this level, I would expect, potentially 250, 300% move before, anything major. But I'll show you how the 1.618s have played, just as we talked about how, again, Pepe's respecting these levels. Again, Andy is as well. So let's take a look at it. So from our low, from this first prominent low to the high right here, and I will take off the 2.618 and then I will reverse this. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about here. So on this first run up here, and again, this is kind of similar to what we're seeing now, this rounded out bottom, small holder capitulation. You can see where Andy topped out perfectly, which was right at the 1.618 from our first prominent high to first prominent low. Fib extension called the first local top. But again, we have now sufficiently reaccumulated, and things look really solid here, like solid trend line reclaim. And again, whales are bidding. So maybe you get something like this, little rounded out head and shoulders. And then, I mean, honestly, guys, as long as ETH continues to perform well, we have a strong, very respectfully correlated, Ethereum beta and Pepe beta that should, in theory, outperform both, as long as both continue to show the strength that it is. It's not a coincidence that Andy rallied off of this low like it did yesterday, outperforming that of both Pepe and ETH as it should. So anyways, that's generally it, guys. Just wanted to talk about that. We've got a big week ahead of us. Ethereum ETF is potentially going to be approved this week. It's looking more and more like that is, that is going to happen. So pretty exciting times ahead, guys. And the truth of the matter is, like, if you You don't own ETH here for this phase of the cycle, um, it might be something to consider, right? Because we already went over the type of performance and the lead and the lag to what really can happen when ETH when Bitcoin gets into price discovery. Like ETH can really get moving, guys. And again, the same thing happened last cycle. Look where Bitcoin was to where ETH was, and then Bitcoin chads above the all-time high. The rest is history, guys. The rest is history. You guys, today that was 10 minutes max, but we went 50% over. Guys, thanks so much for being here. As always, please like and subscribe. Before you go, check out the links in the description below. First link is to our Discord, where we do 2.5 hours a day of private live voice calls with me and the entire Because Bitcoin team. We share all of our active positions and premium setups that we don't talk about here on YouTube or on X. Definitely tremendous value. Definitely worth trying it out. The strongest community in crypto. And again, we meet twice per day to talk markets. We do Q&A. So again, if you want to talk with me and the BB team 24/7, be part of our intimate community, check that out. First link in the description below. A little bit of a bonus. In the next 30 days, you're going to get free access included in your existing Discord membership to our new flagship product called the BB Terminal, guys. It is absolutely epic. It's got charts. It's got heat maps. It's got derivatives data. It's got high time frame DCA indicators. It's got portfolio tracking, literally everything that you need to succeed in these markets, all bundled together into one super website. And again, that's going to be given to you for free in your existing Discord membership. So a little bonus coming to you guys very soon. You're going to absolutely love it. Second link in the description below is to the BB Academy, guys. This is our master class. Me and the BB team spent 6 months meticulously curating everything that you need to know to speed run and expedite your journey towards navigating these markets from a technical and fundamental perspective, guys. There's a lot of people out there teaching TA, and there's a lot of good information, but there's also a lot of bad information, guys, the wrong stuff. We speed runs through everything. If you're looking to master the arts of TA and FA, guys, this course has everything. All of our strategies from me and the entire team, everything that we've used over years to succeed in these markets and consistently profit. So if you want to learn our strategies and you don't want to waste any time, it's very, very fairly packaged right now. Check that out. That's the second link in the description below, guys. And again, prices are going up very soon. If you go to the website, you will see. But again, this is a fantastic course. It's a resource. You buy it, you have it forever. Support us, support your trading journey. It's a win-win-win for everybody. But guys, thanks so much for being here. Please like and subscribe before you go. And again, thanks so much for being here. Take care.